Welcome to Dynamo Dynamics, winning goals to digital dominance. I'm your host, Danny Perry, and with me as always is my guy, Kai Peterson. And Kai, I kind of feel like, how do I feel? Like I'm unprepared for a term project. I get that feeling you graduated a few years ago from college.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
A little bit. I mean, we still haven't had our set lineup, like our starting 11 for next season. We did get one new roster update, which is actually pretty exciting. It's
Tell us about him.
It's a 21-year-old Jack McGlynn from Philadelphia Union. He got called up to the U.S. men's national team, so he must be pretty good. I haven't seen him play before, but with Philadelphia, he had a 86% passing rate, so that's pretty solid in the midfield for sure.
And how did you say how old he is?
21.
21.
Very young.
Okay. Okay, well, Jack McGlynn, you're it. You're our
Big shoes to fill.
Guy. You've got to fill the shoes of Héctor Herrera and Coco, Carrasquilla and the goalies, everyone. So you're it. No pressure. Well, that's good. But what about the other transfer window news? Anything noteworthy that you saw?
Really, besides Wilfried Zaha coming to the MLS, other than that, it was mainly in the European leagues. We saw Aston Villa really made a push.
Moves.
Yeah,
Making moves. Rashford on loan
with the option to buy, which probably might happen. I don't think he wants to ever go back to United with how they kind of ended things, but
do you think he'd stay at Aston Villa though? I mean, I think Real Madrid is out there. The other Premier League teams, Arsenal's always had an eye on him.
I don't know. I know for sure he probably wouldn't go to Real Madrid. I don't think there's a spot open for him to take realistically, but he could probably go anywhere he wants if he gets back in form. So.
Says a lot about Aston Villa, though, huh? I mean, their whole perception of that team over the last few years has changed, like, completely. Yeah. Now they're contenders, and, I mean, they're not really contenders in Premier League this year, but top of the table, top 10 of the table, they're competing hard in the Champions League. So, major difference.
Yeah.
Major difference. And these moves shows that they're going for it.
Yeah, I think they really make the push for Champions League if they can get that Champions League under their belt. That would be a huge win for their club.
Too bad they're not going to get that under their belt this year. Let's be realistic. Slow down.
If I was rooting for any Premier League club, I'd say I'd want Villa to win it all.
That would be the one?
Yeah, really, definitely.
Phil,
I mean, who else would I have to choose from? Liverpool, City, Arsenal.
Why not Arsenal? Support your friends, guy. I mean, if your team's not it, support your friends.
We'll see. We do have a exciting Champions League coming up though next week. The knockout stage is happening.
So this is the round of 16 before the round of 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess a round of 32. But there are two legs, so that's, I think, pretty nice.
Any juicy matchups that you see?
I mean, Real Madrid, Manchester City, but Manchester City's been on the worst form they've probably had in 10 years. Yeah. So they've...
Overall, but they're five of their last seven. I mean, they're still top four in the league. And
yeah.
They did qualify, so they are a threat. But.
And they don't look bad. They look pretty strong. Well, they just make minor mistakes, or players take a playoff, basically.
Well, they played Arsenal this weekend, and they got smashed 5-1. But that was not really indicative of the game. Yeah. City did have a lot of possession, good ball movement. They were just undone by their own mistakes, giving the ball away at the back or in midfield, and the Arsenal made them pay.
Yeah,
and I was here for it. But
I think everyone is.
It was definitely a good match from my perspective. From City's perspective, I'm sure they're like, what's really going on? Because they were in actually a pretty decent run of form at the 5-6 in all competitions. And then that happened. So now,
I actually think they have a really good chance against Real Madrid. Real Madrid's had their ups and downs as well this year. And also Antonio Rudiger is going to be out for at least the first leg. So, and that's a key center back for them. So who's going to stop Haaland?
They can borrow Big Gabby for a game, and maybe no, they can't. But I think it's going to be good. Like I said, I think we talked about last week that this format was a little weird at first, but I think it might. I think it's actually kind of growing on me.
I think just because we get to watch more games than anything, but at the same time,
as much as we rail against the number of games and injuries and all that, but it's like
there's been so many injuries this year. I feel like than any other year that I can remember. But love watching the games.
Likewise. Speaking of games, there's a big game in American football coming up this Sunday. Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Want to make a bold prediction?
I'll go.
But you have to explain why.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. My brain says the Chiefs. Well, my heart really doesn't. I don't have a hot or a warm spot in my heart for the Eagles, but I'd like to see the Eagles win. And I think the only way they can do it is if Saquon Barkley has a game.
I think there's no doubt he's going to have a game. My brain, I don't know, my heart says, can they both lose, please? But it's difficult to root for the Eagles because, I'm a Cowboys fan, same division, all of that stuff. But they really think they're the best team. I mean, they are the best team still standing, and they may have been the best team all year round because their offense, defense, and special teams they've been clicking for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they haven't even really unleash their passing game at this point. And, and Barkley's just been running up and down the field. And, I mean, if Jalen Hurts has a decent game, Barkley does what he does, their defense does what they do, then Philly should win.
Yeah.
But there's that Kansas City thing, man, and Mahomes is just so, you can't really, it's hard to bet against him.
Yeah.
And, betting against him and, that referee support that they usually get. I said it.
I mean, it happened last Super Bowl, so we'll see. I just want to see a little change. I mean, we're having a repeat from last year, so who knows? Eagles this year could be their year.
Is that the prediction?
I hope so. I'll go with the Eagles. I'll root for the Eagles this Sunday.
So no three-peat for Kansas City and Mahomes. I think the Eagles are going to win it as well. So that's our bold Super Bowl predictions, and we'll see how it actually turns out on Sunday.
Yeah,
on Sunday, and then we're only 2 weeks out from the start of MLS, and so we can really get things moving. Me too.
I'm ready for it to start up. I'm excited to go to games and
get it going again. I'm excited as well. I think it's going to be a really good season. I know it's going to be a good MLS season. Let's put it that way. I'm hopeful for the Dynamo. I just don't really know what the lineup is going to. The friendly that's coming up will tell us more, though, because that'll give us at least the idea of what the starting lineups are going to be in the initial rotations. Who's who?
Yeah.
But until that point, until we really see what the squad, how it's reconfigured after all of those departures, that's going to be
it's kind of all up in the air right now.
It is.
But the Dynamo could be the dark horse this year. Nobody thought Liverpool was going to be this great after losing Klopp. Yeah. So losing a couple players, we bring a few guys in, literally maybe 2 guys, I don't know, maybe 3. We could put the puzzle together and have a year.
They were really, really solid last year, and I think or last season. Well, I guess it was last year. All the way around, they got better. And better as the year went on. So I'm hoping that they can build on that, from a squad perspective. And, these guys playing more together, are having this more time together. And let's just see what happens, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for them. I think it's going to be a good season. I'm hopeful it's going to be a great season.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
I mean, in other news, we saw the NBA, probably one of the biggest, craziest trades I've ever seen. Dallas sports are...
I have no words. Well, I mean, Luka Dončić. Luka.
Yeah.
25-year-old superstar, all constantly in the MVP conversation. It led him to the finals, right? Face of the franchise, and they traded him away for conditioning because of his conditioning. It sounds like there's a little bit more to it, but
yeah, it has to be a little something else has to be there because I mean, 25, you're getting a good player in Anthony Davis, but
you're getting a great player, but he's at the tail end.
Tail end of his prime. He probably maybe can give you another 2 to 3 years. He's also very tall. He's gotten injured a few times, so it's
right. I just don't. I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't. And for what they got back, it's really not. I mean, they got Anthony Davis, granted, but it seems like for trades of that magnitude for a young superstar, it's usually
you would think untradeable
players, multiple first-round picks, all of that, and none of that took place during this trade. So I think it shocked the whole NBA, the whole sporting world, like, whoa, what?
I woke up that morning, got a notification, I read it, and I was like, what? And then I looked online about an hour or two later, and I was like, oh, this is real. I thought it was a joke.
It was bizarre.
Yeah.
It was bizarre, but sports teams in Dallas do bizarre stuff, like not hire or not fire their coach at the end of the season.
It's also weird for the Lakers, too. I mean, Luka's very ball dominant. So is LeBron. It's like,
but LeBron has the ability to not be
dominant. And also he probably wants to be less ball dominant as he ages because he's 40.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a great move for the Lakers. I mean, it almost seems like they fleeced them to me.
Yeah.
But it all depends on how Dončić plays and if they win a championship, because that's the only measuring stick they actually have. If they don't win, they're going to get brutalized. And if they do, then, you know, it's validated. But I think it's a great I mean, at least it was good sports news, right?
Yeah, and I mean, well, now the Lakers, whenever LeBron's ready to retire, they have their next guy.
Exactly. So for the future, they're ready. They're ready. So from their perspective, it was brilliant. The Mavericks, not so much, man, because they didn't even get the first round picks. I mean, they got a first round pick and the player, but they're not solidifying, you know, what the future. It doesn't appear that they're solidifying the future, but maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah.
Apparently that's it.
Well, let us know y'all's thoughts on the trade, the NBA trade, the transfer window, everything else, Super Bowl
predictions. Oh, but I've got to give a shout out. To the Bay Area Christian School Lady Broncos and Rachel Pennick, who are in the fight for the district championship. So go Rachel, go Lady Broncos, get the job done. You heard it here. Lady Broncos, Bay Area Christian School. All right, let us know what you think. And we definitely want your Super Bowl predictions. We want to hear what your thoughts are on MLS and all of that. And, you know, find us on the socials, all of that good stuff. And
we watch it all. Let us know.
There you go. So thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you next time on Dynamo Dynamics, and go Lady Broncos.